Dosh, Erev Tov, Masechet Ta'anit. Yeah. Okay. Masechet Ta'anit, Daf Daled Amud Aleph. Like this, yeah. If you remember, we were mentioning yesterday Rava. Rava was the one that he was speaking about all the different things which help for the nature. So we spoke about whether it was going to be sheleg, snow helps for the mountains. We spoke about soft rain. Soft rain is going to help for the perot and the tevuah, for the grain and the fruits. We spoke about a harsh rain, hard rain. Hard rain helps for the ilanot, for the trees. Then we spoke about urpila. Urpila was a geshem dak, a very thin rain. That was going to be good, that even if there's going to be seeds underneath the ground, it was going to help it. Now that we brought down urpila, so now the Gemara brings down, after urpila, we brought down the same concept of partzida de tutekala, which is a seed underneath, whether it's a stone or underneath a piece of thick dirt. So therefore, Rava comes and he says, the tzurba merabanan, the rabbi's students which are rabbis, they're becoming rabbis. So they are compared to this also partzida de tutekala. Why? Tekevan de navat navat, because once it breaks forth, and now his name starts going in the world because he's been learning for such a long time, so therefore his name will continue. Because of that, now we're continuing with Rava, and we're also continuing with Tzurba Rabbanan. So again, there's two connections to what we just mentioned before. The connection between the Tzurba Rabbanan and what Rava said before is, first of all, these are all sayings of Rava. Second of all, we mentioned Partzida de Tutekala, so we mentioned Tzurba Rabbanan and Partzida de Tutekala. Now we're continuing with Tzurba Rabbanan to Tzurba Rabbanan, and it's all still Rava. So Rava comes in now and he says like this: the Amar Rava says Rava, Hai Tzurba Rabbanan diratah. Sometimes you happen, right, that you have rabbis that you come and they get angry. Yeah, they become on fire. Yeah, so what happens? He says, Oraitahu de kamar techaleh. He says it's the Torah that he's learning that's getting him so feisty. That's getting him so feisty. Amar Rava comes and he says, Hai tzurba merabanan deratach. So this rabbis, or these students of rabbis, that they get angry, it's the Torah that's inside of them that is getting them so angry. Shneimar, as it says in a pasuk, Halocho devari ka'esh neum Hashem. The Torah, which is devar Hashem, is compared to esh, is compared to fire, which warms up the body of a human being. Because once a person comes and he learns Torah, he pays attention much more than other people, and therefore sometimes he's going to be much more makpid, right? That's what Rashi actually brings down. Rashi says, I'll read to you, it says, Yesh lo rochav lev, he's got rochav lev, he talked to the which means that you have to be done because it's the Torah which is causing that. So that's why sometimes people come, they're very, very cold. Did you ever realize? Rabbis are not cold? So some people say, you know why rabbis are not cold? Because they've got the extra belly. Yeah, they've got the extra thing. You understand? No. It's not because of this. The Torah is fire, and fire warms up the body. How are you going to be cold? Right? It has to mechamem otcha. It has to make you alive. So the same thing. It's the oraita. It's the Torah which makes them on fire. The Amar Ravashi, and says Ravashi. Now that we just spoke about that, when you're going to have the students of the rabbis, which they're going to be upset, because it's obviously the Torah which is making them get upset. Says the Gemara, says Ravashi, Kol Talmid Haham She'eno Kashe Kabarzel. If you have a Talmid Chacham that is not hard, like a piece of iron, you know what that means? It says Kabdan betakif. You know what Kabdan is? He has to be makpid. He has to be takif. He has to be harsh. Eno Talmid Chacham. He's not considered Talmid Chacham. You just heard those words. I want you to highlight them. Yeah? So he says, Shneimar, it says in a pasuk, Halocho devari kaesh neum Hashem, uchpatish yefotzetz sela. The Divrei Torah is nimshal, like a patish of barzel, like a hammer of iron, which breaks stones, which breaks slaim. So to a Talmid Chacham, that his heart is full of Torah, he's very takif and kasher, kabarzel. So here from the Meshech of the Gemara, it's also talking about it's mashra, it's also talking about kaas, which means that sometimes he has to actually show ka'as, to put ema on the talmidim, which means, right, and that's also, it's another Gemara Mefurash, it's zroch marab talmidim, which means that sometimes you have to come, and even to your own students, you have to get upset at them. Why? Because when you show that you're upset at them, they come and they start paying attention. Yeah, imagine right now you have a rabbi that he's always so nice. Right? Why do you think everyone hates me? Because I'm not nice. I come and I give it to them on the head. But why? Because what you have to do is you have to make sure that if not, they take everything like a joke. Big deal. Alachas this, alachas that. It's all the shos. It's all the same. No, he has to be very tough. You have to be very, very tough. Right? So he says the Gemara. Elmaleh Rabbi Abba Ravashi, says Rabbi Abba to Ravashi, Atun mehata matznitula. Right? You guys learn it from that pasuk of Uchpati shefotzet sela. Atun ze'atem. Mehatam from over there. Matznitula, you're learning it. Anan, but we, mehacha matznitula, we learn it from over here. Tichtiv, it says in a pasuk in Devarim. Yeah? Eretz asher avanea barzel. What does that mean? A land which the stones are made out of barzel, are made out of iron. Al tikre avaneha, don't say that the stones are made out of iron, which is avaneha, ela boneha. Boneha, evanim, they build. What do you build with? You build with stones. You build with avanim. So avaneha is rather boneha, the builders. Who are the builders? The Talmidei Chachamim, they build the world. Right? They build the world to make it into a big place. So therefore, they are the ones which are compared to barzel. So they have to be harsh. They have to be strong like iron. Meaning sometimes you have to fold, you have to bend, you have to be easygoing, you have to kashe ka barzel. Yeah? So Ravina says, afilu hachi. Right? And even so, which means even though the Torah is esh, and a Talmid Chacham has to be kashe ka barzel, yeah, still, the person should accustom himself to do everything, but ichuta, right? Gently. Shneimar, but it says in the pasuk, "Va'aser ka'as milibecha, ve'aver ra'a mibesarecha," which means that even though he comes and he sees the people that are doing right bad things, he shouldn't get that angry, right? But rather he has to teach them. Benichuta, he has to teach them in good ways. Why? So if a person removes from himself ka'as, ve'aser ka'as milibecha, if you'll remove from your heart anger, right? So what happens? Ve'aver ra'a mibesarecha, you will remove from your flesh bad things as well. Okay, so here we could stop, right? Because now we're going to go into a new concept of asking in good things or things. Okay.